this darn webcam, it doesn't keep the zoom level each time, so every single time I vlog, I have to zoom it in again. And you'd think, hey, why don't I just do it in post? And that's not the point, dang it. These things are supposed to be as zero effort as possible, so don't want to do it in post, because that's more work to do. Friction. Having a lot of tasks to do is very, very difficult. Obviously, having a lot of tasks to do is very difficult. That's a stupid way to start. What am I on about? Part of the thing that I've tried to do with these vlogs is to make them as easy to make as possible. So when I started out, I set out to record less than 10 minutes. Well, I mean, I failed that a lot, but for the most part, I've kept to the less than 10 minutes. Talked about things, no script or anything. There's been no planning for these vlogs. It's just been whatever comes to mind on the day, or in the case of themed days, top 5 Tuesdays and show and tell Saturdays, well, they've just cropped up to help me out. But for the most part, it's unplanned. And other than that, intro, outro, minimal editing here and there if necessary. I have failed on all 3 of those things in various ways, but again, for the most part, I've succeeded. And the thing that I've tried to keep in mind, the whole point of this, is to reduce the friction. I do like rolling my R's, I don't know if you've noticed. Reduce the friction that it takes to create a vlog, because I think part of the issue why I don't make videos more than I want to or could do is because of the amount of friction that it takes. And what I mean by friction is like the amount of tasks you have to do between setting out to do the thing and doing the thing. And sometimes friction's like that. Like with the vlogs, all I need to do is get the mic in front of me and just start. I mean, there was a lot of friction while I was setting up my operating system because, well, OBS wasn't ready, DaVinci Resolve wasn't ready, so there was a lot of stuff that could go wrong, and then I had all the setup to do in terms of video formats and stuff, so a lot of friction there. But I've reduced that so it's as simple as it was on Windows. But when it comes to actually making a video, well, right now it is a bit difficult because the house is pretty much this one room. If I want to do videos that involve me sitting in front of the computer and talking over some gameplay, for example, well, that's difficult to do with another person in the room, and there's not really a whole lot that can be done about that. So the best thing for me to do is wait until the person is out of the house, and then, well, it's my wife. I don't need to sugarcoat it, do I? And that makes life a lot easier for both of us, because one of us doesn't have to be dead quiet and not do anything, and the other doesn't have to worry about taking up essentially the whole house when making a video. Ran afoul of that actually a while ago when I did an unboxing video, because I thought, oh, that'll be quick and easy to do, and I won't get in the way, I'll go upstairs and it'll be fine. Except my wife could then actually not go into the kitchen because the curtain in front of the kitchen makes enough noise that it would be picked up by the camera, and she didn't want to do that. It's a minefield. I'm hoping that situation will change fairly soon, but we'll see. In fact, I'm going to make darn sure that it's going to be easier for both of us when I want to record. So there is a lot of friction there, and when I do get a chance to record, well, there's things like, oh, okay, maybe I want to use the camera. Okay, is there enough space on the SD card? Is there a battery ready to go? Because, well, I use the camera so infrequently that invariably the battery is drained by the time I get to using it again. So I need to make sure there's a battery ready to go, and a spare battery, because the battery life doesn't last very long. I need to make sure that there's suitable lighting, and like things like the floor's clean, and the space where I want to record is clean. And once again, I need to make sure that I'm not getting in anyone's way. I need to make sure that I've got enough time afterwards to tidy up. And if there is not enough light, I need to make sure that I get the lights out, which is itself a massive source of friction, because I need to get out the stand, I need to get out the actual light thing, I need to put in the bulb, I need to put in the cover, I need to plug it in somewhere. Sounds easy, but that's a lot of task, and then I have to put it all away again, and that's a faff because the bag isn't quite big enough. That's a lot of things before I even get to making the video itself, and reducing that friction is something that I want to focus on as much as possible. That's part of the reason why I made Retro Rack. That's part of the reason why I've got such an involved capture setup. And, well, the thing is, I've talked about that because it's something that I kind of want to apply to most, if not all, aspects of my life. Things like getting a dishwasher, not dryer, potentially like a tumble dryer, that could be one. There's other aspects, like making sure that there's not a whole lot of stuff out on shelves or on the desk. For example, this desk is just a mess. To make it easier to clean and to dust, making sure that stuff like there's always X available when I need it. Like batteries. Batteries is a good example. There's always batteries available when I need them. And a method of dealing with that would be to get a decent battery charger. I'm actually kind of annoyed at myself because I found one that I wanted and didn't remember the name of it, so I've got to try and find that again. But it scored really well in reviews, and it was a really good, solid battery charger for not very much money. And that's AA batteries, by the way. Yes, lithium ions, and yes, chargeable devices, and that's all very good, but if I need to play on my Game Boy Advance, well, that's not an option at the moment. And other things like, I did have one in mind, and I've forgotten it, but you get what I mean. The idea of reducing friction means that things just are easier to do, and that's something that I don't think we value enough. Putting the time in initially to make a task easier to do for our future selves, it's an important thing to keep in mind. And it's something that I would like to focus on, and I think that it's worth focusing on. So I would like to put it to you, would you, if you have any useful tips on reducing friction in a day-to-day scenario, I would love to hear it. It's great to hear what other people are thinking about this. And, well, the ideal, of course, is to not have to do any difficult tasks at all. But if you can't do that, then might as well make it as easy as possible to do those difficult tasks. Anyway, yeah, that didn't really have a point, did it? But these vlogs aren't supposed to have a point. Friction, you see? No friction, no point. That made more sense in my head. I'm going to finish now. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow.